Hey guys, it's me Daniel bringing you a Dead Space 3 video. This is not a live commentary. This is a commentary over raw gameplay, which honestly could do better. So I mean, I'm thinking of doing a part 2. We'll probably get a Tom of Atlantis. Before you ask, this gameplay is the CMS Corelli mission on classic mode. So I died a lot. Classic mode's it's a challenge, but it's worth it for the reward. Alright, anyways, on to the topic of today's video. Today I want to talk about why I think Dead Space 3 is the worst game in the series, but is still worth playing. So, Dead Space 3, in the context of the series, was a complete departure from everything previously. It almost completely got rid of the horror in favor of action. Pardon me. So, what you get is a game where it's much more action-based. A comparison a lot of people like to make is this to the Alien series, where you have the horror for the first one, action for the second, and a disappointing third game, which honestly really isn't a bad synopsis. But this game still has a lot of qualities if you can get it cheap. This game has a honestly not bad system of creating weapons. You can make some pretty fun weapons. If you do get this game, I would recommend you just trick out the bullpup rifle. That thing is godly. Like honestly, absolutely god weapon. Especially if you can get rate of fire. Will carry you to the alien city. Also, I better not see no one getting triggered over spoilers. This game's been out for a long time. Alright. The plot of this game revolves around Isaac Clarke being found by EarthGov soldiers during a, as they put it, doomsday scenario, although it doesn't really present that whole scenario that well. They get to you and say they lost contact with Ellie, and you follow their coordinates you sent them, which leads you to the flotilla above Tau Volantis, with SCAF ships. So, you learn a little bit about SCAF in the prologue with Tim Kaufman and Sam Ackerman, but not a whole lot. Now, I'm probably the only person in the world who actually cares about this, but I genuinely find SCAF very interesting. If you're in my Discord, you'll know that I have ranks for SCAF Commander and such, and I think it's a very interesting topic to discuss their military. So that's one thing that I do like about it, is the fact that they kind of fleshed it out a good bit. Although it could use a bit more lore. The balance, though, of the game is radically different from the ones before it. Games such as Dead Space 1 and 2 were all about shooting in the limbs, but you could pretty much shoot center mass and kill most of the things. Although you can't really in this game mode, because I'm pretty sure Classic's at like hard mode. I'm just getting bullied in this gameplay by these Necromorphs. Another radical departure is there is no more store, and as I said, you can craft weapons. The store has been replaced by the bench. Now, I mean, we've had a bench in previous Dead Space games where you could use power circuits to upgrade your weapons. Power modules, or whatever they were called. But in Dead Space 3, you can find parts as well as upgrade circuits to craft completely new weapons. As I mentioned, one of my favorites is the bullpup rifle. Very fun gun. It allows for a lot of creativity, but it does have a major downside of needing to find the materials, and unfortunately, it does limit your weapons to 2 slots. Although, unlike in previous games where you could have 4 weapons with 2 alt fires, you now have 2 fully customizable weapons, well, unless you're in on classic mode, with 2 alt fires. It's just so ridiculous. You could make a shotgun if you want. Or how about an electric chain gun that shoots kinesis at people? Yeah, kinesis. You know that thing you shoot that slows down time? You can put that on bullets now. But I think one of the most radical departures from the horror aspect of the game has to be the inclusion of human enemies, it radically changes the game. And I have to say, I'm not the biggest fan of it, although it does make sense in the context of the story for you to be fighting Unitologists. Although there's one thing that's always great me about the Unitologist enemies is in the first chapter when you're on the you're on the lunar colony. They have bullpup rifles, which are 200-year-old scaff rifles. So it makes sense later in the game for them to have that, since, I mean, they're on top of Lances and probably raided some scaff caches, but over in the new Lunar's colony, I would have expected them to have, like, assault rifles or pulse rifles. So that's honestly kind of bothered me. There honestly is some fun suits to get and lots of collectibles. One of I think the biggest downsides to this game is nowadays no one really plays it, so you can't 100% it because you need to have a friend to do the co-op missions. New Game Plus honestly is pretty fun. New Game Plus Basic gives you a lot of stuff. Classic mode like this is something I'm trying to play because you remember that foam finger from Dead Space 2? Yeah, you can get that for completing classic mode. Anyways, so this game, back to the plot, takes you to the flotilla where you basically decrypt the necrotic message that the Admiral Graves wrote, and then you go to the Terra Nova, which is a really cool ship, by the way, to get a shuttle called the CMS Cruiser. Also, I think I finally realized what CMS stands for, Colony's Military Ship. Anyways, let me just say something cool. Every ship, almost every ship, if not every ship, in the flotilla has a name in reference to a failed expedition of some sort. The CMS Roanoke is a reference to the settlement Roanoke from America, way back in the 1600s, where an entire settlement vanished with no trace, and the only clue as to what happened was the word Croatan carved into a tree. Still a mystery to this day. Oh, that's, as you just saw there, the CMS Roanoke, the command center, that's the reference to it. The Terra Nova, the mass driver ship, and my personal favorite in the fleet. Its name is a reference to a failed expedition to the Antarctica, and Terra Nova is actually Latin for New Earth. So, to summarize what I've said, Dead Space 3 is a radical departure from the previous games in the series. It prioritizes action over horror, and while for some people that's enough to turn them off of this game, I personally find the combat to be pretty fun as long as you have the right weapons for the situation. Stasis feel nice, there's damage upgrades to Kinesis, which is awesome. There are some honestly pretty unique suits, such as the Witness suit, the Marauder suit. The Legionary is honestly not bad. Although I think we can all agree the fact that they have a Captain Shepard suit is just perfect. Perfection. So, this has been my synopsis of Dead Space 3, a very basic review of it. I'd be happy to get more gameplay of this. Just let me know. I'm just gonna leave you out to this last bit of gameplay here. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.